Hundreds of San Diegans rally for climate change. The march was at Balboa Park. It started on 6th Avenue and ended at the fountain outside the Science Center. The City of San Diego is leading the way with a plan recently approved by the Council's Environmental Committee. And the activists are calling for our local leaders to take significant action to prevent what they're calling irreversible climate change.
This is our way of saying we are going to keep putting the pressure on our leaders. We're going to keep marching, writing letters, contacting elected officials, and saying more must be done. And we need to make a drastic and immediate change to renewable energy.
San Diego City Council is expected to vote on a local climate change bill as early as January. That plan would reduce 100% of emissions by 2035.
Hundreds packed Balboa Park today for a march to fight climate change, and it's one of many that took place around the world.
It's actually kind of funny. They keep coming up with different things.
The demonstration was put together by the group San Diego 350. They're a non-profit organization concerned about climate change and the welfare of our planet and children. The march also supports the city's efforts to adopt the Climate Action Plan next Tuesday. That aims to achieve 100% clean energy by 2035. Demonstrators called on leaders not to cross what they called climate red lines.
Those are thresholds that we can't cross. We need to keep 80% of fossil fuels in the ground to keep a livable planet and have fresh air for our children. We also need to be concerned about and have climate justice for those people who are the most impacted by climate change.
Again, hundreds of thousands of people marched around the world in solidarity today to mark the end of the United Nations climate talks in Paris, where world leaders negotiated a global climate treaty.
Well, people in San Diego are paying close attention to what is happening at the Climate Summit. About 500 of them marched around Balboa Park today. They're trying to raise awareness for a range of environmental issues, but the uniting theme is our warming planet.
Today we have a march in solidarity with the people who are marching in Paris and around the world to demand that world leaders do more to fight climate change.
A group called San Diego 350 organized today's event. The march wrapped up with a rally and speakers at Balboa Park.
Climate justice! Climate justice!
And as that deal was reached with opposition in Paris as well here in San Diego, hundreds of San Diegans rallied for climate action. The march was here in Balboa Park. It started on 6th Avenue. It ended at the fountain outside the Science Center. The activists are calling for our local and national leaders to take significant action to prevent what they're calling irreversible climate changes.
We feel like the talks have been okay, but no climate scientist would say that the work that was done over there was adequate. And so we want to keep pressure on leaders, politicians, environmental groups, everybody that we can keep pressure on to say that has not been enough. We need to keep changing things in order to reduce global warming.
San Diego City Council is expected to vote on a local bill as early as January.